So as I mentioned, the impermanent losses is one of the key issues that we're looking to solve with AMMs. And in terms of the AI or reinforcement learning agents that we're deploying right now and are in the testing phase, we're working under the guidance of Singularity Net team to really optimize the models that we utilize. We're using a combination of models, reinforcement learning agents with several other predictive models, an LSTM predictive model, and these work in conjunction to have a better quote price for on both sides, on buy and sell side, for each individual user. Furthermore, when any user really adds liquidity to a liquidity pool, it's the AMMs don't really take into consideration the prices at which they're adding their liquidity. So our current approach is with the AI network that we're rolling out, it integrates with our existing market maker, which any user can really utilize. They set the spread, they set the refresh rate. With the reinforcement learning agents that we're implementing, a user can select how much do they want the AI to really govern the spread or the refresh rate of their interface. And if they set it 100%, then the AI will make the decisions of what the refresh rate should be. By refresh rate, I mean in 30 seconds or in a minute, an order will reset based on the new closing price of the order book. So these things make a lot of difference in depending on how volatile the market is, how choppy the market is. So the AI agents really take into consideration these different aspects. We have developed a choppiness index that really takes into account how the market is moving. Is it trending, or how is it trending? And so these are the things that we're incorporating in terms of this being sort of a proven model. We have just implemented these model, training these models and deploying them on Singularity Net marketplace. And there's still a way for us to go before we can have them in the hands of the people performing as we want them to perform. So the first step for this implementation is doing it in our existing market maker, which our people are using, ensuring that performances are improved with this, while the reinforcement learning agents continues to learn not only from these AI agents that are giving it the directions to trade, but also with all of the users that are deploying these bots and improving over time. So Q2 next year is when we intend to have this in an IMM model, where a user could really add liquidity in a pool and then fire and forget that. At the moment, we will deploy this in our existing market maker, which a user selects certain specifications and then deploys them.
What is your go-to-market strategy?
So right now we're working with several businesses, that is decentralized exchanges and token projects. For instance, we're working closely with Loopring, and what we've done with Loopring is we've integrated a market maker. They have these liquidity mining campaigns that happens every month. So our idea is that our users are able to generate a certain amount of passive revenue through these liquidity mining campaigns, which we're implementing through our protocol as well. So Q1 of next year, that is in January, our liquidity mining protocol will be live. So all of the token projects that are listed or want to list on Loopring will be able to create liquidity mining campaigns, which, by the way, we've taken inspiration from Hummingbot, which they've done excellent work in the space on market making, and they've done excellent research. So the liquidity mining protocol, we've taken inspiration from the research that they've done, which basically just has these incentives, these sponsorship tokens and assets that ensures the inventory risk a market maker has. It is offsetted by an adequate reward. So our strategy is we're working with Loopring, we're working with several other centralized exchanges, several other decentralized exchanges that have a user base, and we service them, that is these businesses, bringing liquidity to them and adding value to our users that use our platform, because through these liquidity mining campaigns, they can generate a passive revenue. So it creates this, working with these businesses gives us access to their traders and users as well, and helping us grow our market makers users, and helps them do that as well. So that's what our strategy is. We're working with these decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges, but our focus is DEXs because that's where liquidity is most needed.
Awesome. Do you have any questions from the room in Dubai?
None yet.
I'm also.
None yet. Okay. And
go-to-market was an important one, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely like the Antonio project. Is Gather still here? Do we have any questions for them? Because I think we cut them short as well.
You're here.
Awesome. Do me a favor and turn on your webcam, because Zoom prioritizes the ones with webcams. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can redirect that question to you as well in terms of the go-to-market strategy for Gather.
Yeah, sure. If you look at our current traction, we already have some big sites on board. I mean, cost of acquisition is very low for our project because everyone basically wants to monetize in different ways, if I may say. And for example, in our case, India, the pioneer, one of the oldest newspapers, the Daily Chain, a crypto site, Ferrum Network, DeFi staking site. These are all ready to use our solutions. So it's basically, if I may say, it will scale with the word of mouth effect. Of course, we will not leave it to that. On the enterprise side, we got some enterprises on board, big enterprises. We will continue adding these as we complete our testing process. And on the developer side, also we have Lux with us, for example, LuxCore. We will be trying to onboard new developers and also new dApps if needed for using our hash rate. So mostly for the developer and enterprise side, we will be performing B2B business activities, more partnerships along the way for sure. And for the Gather Online alternate monetization side, we will probably go with a referral system at some point. But even without that, I believe the product will sell itself based on the interest we saw in the past campaigns that we did. For example, we spent like 2.5K for Twitter ads at some point, and we got like 150 people and businesses on board at that time. It's quite a low cost of acquisition rate. So I think it will carry on like this in the coming period.
For Gather, you guys have been looking for integration partners to bring on a separate blockchain. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we are building Gather blockchain, and Gather blockchain will allow other blockchains, which we call child chains, to be deployed on top of it. So if anyone, any developer with proof of work algorithm wants to roll a chain, they will be able to use our network's hash rate. Think of it like Ethereum in a way. Any fee, any transactions that will be taking place over that child chain will be in the form of GTH token, our native currency. So this will be, and also these new chains will be mined via our core product.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my follow-up there would be, you know, with Ethereum being well, with this paradigm shift of everyone trying to compete with Ethereum to Ethereum becoming the gold standard for alternative blockchains outside of Bitcoin, and Polkadot and Matic really taking the charge in terms of the scalability revolution and complementing that ecosystem, kind of more of an introspective instead of externalized. Why don't you just take an opportunity to maybe discuss the pain points in terms of acquisition onto your blockchain and why you're different?
Yeah, sure. For the main chain, Gather blockchain, we definitely need it. I mean, we cannot build this solution in a profitable way in another chain, because it will be a permissioned chain which will be only mined by the websites and applications. This is pretty important. I mean, if we allow ASICs, etc., to come on board and you know try to gather blockchain, the publisher profitabilities will be dropping, and it will not mean anything. This system is purely based on having an own blockchain. I can say 20%, 70% of the block rewards will be going to publishers, and the rest will be masternodes, pretty briefly. And for the other developers to come on board, I mean, there will always be need for miners. I believe there will be projects popping up again for to easily deploy proof of work solutions. So, and we will try to do this in one-click way for them to deploy, and with very affordable fees. So, in our model, the child chain part is like will have the same quantifiable value, if I may say, compared to the cloud enterprise side. So I think for the scalability issues, in the longer term, we can also think about some side chains, etc., on gathered main chain. But it's not the first, I mean, go-to thing to discuss at this point. Child chain design is a bit different compared to, I mean, there's not much existing solution like this. So we want to include it in our model, basically. Because why not? Because we will be getting the processing power already from the publishers. So we will try to utilize it and optimize it, if I may say, in all possible ways we can.
Gotcha. Is there any, we have about 5 minutes left, I believe. Let me just double check the schedule. No, sorry, we have about 10 minutes left until we're joined by Sora and PokeSwap for their presentation. So I want to kind of pitch it out to the panelists here. I know we have Dan with us, David and the guys from Dubai, and all the wonderful funds and investors that are sitting in the chat. So I want to make sure if anyone else has any additional questions. I have a couple questions here, but I want to make sure that we're getting some more qualitative questions from you guys.
I think we've got a bit more time as well, Matt. So yeah, just if we need a bit more of a gap there.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just pitch it over. Is Antonio still here? Ali?
Sorry?
Hey, yeah, someone had asked if maybe you could go into some detail about how you plan on reaching out to integration partners on the trading side, such as 3 and Gunbot and others, in terms of usage with your platform, and whether or not those integration partners are willing to do so in a way where we can acquire their user base to be able to feed it into your IMM.
So the question is, how do we work with 3 as a Gunbot? Is that the question?
Yeah, do you have plans to work with big trading platforms and trading tools such as Gunbot and 3 and does part of that integration plan involve onboarding their user base into your IMM structure?
For sure. So the liquidity mining protocol that we roll out, you could use Hummingbot, for instance. You could use a Hummingbot bot, or you could use 3 or you could use Gunbot, any bot of your choice, for really, as long as you're providing the liquidity as it is needed, and you're rewarded. So there's a reward calculation system where based on based on a slippage function, you calculate how much reward a user receives. So it's like if the requirement is less than 1% spread, an order placed on a buy or a sell side under 1% based on the order size and the distance from and how low the spread is. That's how the reward is calculated. So it could be any other trading bot that a user would like to use. We obviously have built a market maker and trading platform that our users can utilize, but with which the AI aspect becomes a highlight for that. But any other trading bot that is out there can be utilized on our DEX once we do the integration with them, or our partner DEXs, and basically just receive the rewards as long as you have the orders in the order book and you're registered in our infrastructure, which is just a MetaMask sign in and registration.
Okay. David, do you have any questions? I'm kind of going to pitch it out to you here.
Yeah, so I'm going to look at this more in terms of the traditional space. I'm always interested as an entrepreneur in investing in startups, not only just in crypto, but also in the traditional space. And I'm always really keen to see how these new startup companies are thinking about revenue producing opportunities from day one. I know we're in this kind of innovation technology space, but I think as any investor is always looking for that kind of return on investment, short to medium time too. So I'd be really interested from both sides, starting maybe with you, Ali, and then going to Gather in terms of, what are you currently doing in your short-term, if you like, project roadmap in terms of looking at revenue producing opportunities, services, products, and how do you feel that with the current environment we're in right now, has that shaped or changed your thinking in terms of innovating from where we're sort of dealing with this new, this new sort of normal. So yeah, I'd be interested to hear that from both parties. Let's start with you, Ali.
So there's two aspects of this. In terms of the investments in us through the ICO that we had back in 2017, we were able to get them a solid ROI. You could actually look up about that, as they made probably 40x their income. It has a lot to do with the bull run at the time. Wouldn't take all of the credit for that, but it has a lot to do with the fact that we rolled out a product that was usable at the time when things was just vaporware. So that's one thing. People who invest in us, there's a clear path to revenue generation, because you make a solid return on your investment, considering the fact that we're rolling out products that are valuable, that are being utilized. So we have a proven track record in terms of doing that. So any individuals, institutions, investing in us, I'd say it is a safer bet, considering we've proven our worth in the past, and we've done that pretty well. And so that's one aspect of that. The second aspect of income or revenue generation for an organization itself. So building these tools, we expect other users to use them and be able to do that profitably. So using our market maker, using the AI that we're building, and generating passive revenues through providing liquidity through these liquidity mining campaigns, and even making revenue through these spreads, which is what market makers really do. So when we're trying to enable this for the users, we have to be able to do that ourselves as well. So the good thing about the nature of our businesses and the infrastructure that we're building. So for instance, the AI agents that we deploy on SingularityNet, these AI agents can be utilized by other businesses. The protocols and infrastructure that we're building, the DEX that we're building, it can be utilized by other businesses to maybe do it better than us. But at the very core of it, it's our AI agents that we've built. That's sort of our intellectual property as a for-profit entity. So that's how we intend to, that's how we have been able to sustain through making these minor steady incomes and revenues for ourselves as a company that's really operating this project, which really is a decentralized organization. And the first part was any investors that really holding or buying the token or investing in us have a clear path to revenue generation through the fact that we're collaborating, we're adding value already. And this is not a forward-looking statement. We're already doing that with several exchanges, with several partners, and that just goes to show that this is just the very beginning for us. And there's a lot that we haven't even rolled out yet. There's a lot to come. So that's what our current strategy is.
Awesome. Okay, so we have about 3 minutes left. I believe the founder of Sora, Makoto, is coming in right now. So we should be starting up in just a brief minute. The session, well, I mean, we can consider it session 2, is going to be a 30-minute presentation and a small question session from Sora and PokeSwap. Then we're going to be doing a 20-minute pitch from Safarium Finance, and then 20 minutes from Casha, or CashFi, which is their DeFi product. And then we're going to be doing a 20-minute panel discussion. And after that, in session 3, we'll be doing another 20-minute pitch from Singularity DAO. And we'll be having HXRO join us through all of that if you're still down for that, Dan, as well. But yeah, no, it's going to be an exciting day. Dave, why don't you add on here while I get everything set up?
Yeah, so I think yeah, thanks for that, Antonio. I know that crypto is an interesting space, and you know, as an investor, a token holder, there's constant opportunities. So it might be in the short term in terms of token appreciation, and I think what we've found here as the market has evolved, anyone that's been in the space for the last sort of 2-3 years, they're starting to realize that, you know, we need projects to actually start to becoming more, you know, self-sustainable in terms of bringing in revenues, so that you know, that token appreciation and actually that token stays relevant, right? So I think whilst it might not be in the traditional space, you know, where people are buying in from an equitable perspective, I do think, you know, as token holders, we kind of embrace being part of an equity family, so to speak. And so, you know, I think that's the one thing that we're all looking to do, you know, to make sure that when we invest in a project that they have the capabilities of being relevant and self-sustainable through revenue. So yeah, I appreciate that. I think what we're going to do, Matt, is we're going to end this stream, and then we're going to move into a new stream. So anyone that's watching, please stay with us. If you're not already following us on YouTube and Twitter, please do. Please hit that bell button too, so you get notifications. And I think we're going to end this stream now, Matt, and then we'll go straight over to introducing PokerSwap. And yeah, I think that'll be exciting.
Awesome. Makoto, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Really a pleasure to have you with us today. I really